himself, JDM. This is going to be a tough game, no question, for CLG.
Well then, we are getting into it. It will be G2 starting on the CT side and CLG, of course, on the terrorists. We can see the buys have come in. It's going to be Raid Boss for HenryG. He's got Desert Eagle and Armor this time, so they're relying on him to work a pick at this stage. You can see he's working towards the B tunnels. CT's not showing any sort of aggression whatsoever. We normally see boosts up towards short and trying to get some control and some information. They're playing quite passive. 3 players towards long.
Well, 2. One's a decoy in pit, but there's a third back toward A. Just to be...
Well, there's Smiths as well with them, so he's like the backup, right?
Just clarifying what you were looking at. But yes, you're right. There is 3 players on the A side. Shock's just going to rotate now. There is one more decoy grenade on G2. You can take that with a grain of salt, how you want to implement that into the game, but it's 5 sets of armor as a result of this. Cutler's the only one. Exactly. Cutler's the only one who went for full utility.
Yeah, so G2 are famed for getting 5 sets of armor on T sides and CT sides. Very aggressive in terms of the way they want to approach the round. The Cutler has got control of short, but 4 of his teammates are towards the B tunnels, like I said. Desert Eagle trying to get that first pick. His body, we called him out for being a very strong B player. He's going to have to step up here. It's going to be Scream to get the first pick. Takes down HenryG and gets a double as well. Taking down JDM. And these actually aren't making their way to the site whatsoever.
Well, that's the big problem here, is because with no kits, you would think if they could get a plant down, it would favor them against G2, but the aggressive buy, that forward stance, and suddenly this extremely solid defense is the enemy of CLG as they sit with just Tarek and Fugly remaining. Fugly has the bomb, and he's got a headshot onto Scream as well. That's going to be followed up. Tarek, they brought this back down to a 2 versus 2. Now they can start to open up the map with 29 seconds, and the problem is for Smiths. He's the only one on the A side. It's 3 HP, so he's going to have to be perfect with this USP. Has to hit headshots and make sure that he doesn't overcommit to the peak. And unfortunately, Fugly's going to find him before the rotation from Shocks can even come in.
Yeah, bomb getting planted for short. We have got Shocks coming in from Catwalk as well. He's going to have an opportunity to get the first kill, and he lands it as well. Fugly's dropped. And now it has come down to a 1v1 situation. Tarek with 37 HP needs to decide whether he'll be playing passive or going for the aggressive shot. Shocks is waiting, biding his time.
And Tarek still trying to get information, but not committing to the peak. Does that time, realizes Shock's still there, hasn't given it up, and Tarek, good headshot into Shocks. Is going to start it off, and there you go. There's the problem with not having the kits. They started off so well, but those 2 kills in middle brought it right back to the favor of CLG.
It looks very strong for G2 there. The CLG didn't work a single pick towards the B side. Scream is locking them down, and then all of a sudden 2 frags out of nowhere. And Smith with 2 HP on the bomb site. He had to hit 1 kill at least, but here we go then, round number 2. We have got a force buy from G2 coming in. 3 rifles for CLG, a Mac-10 and a Scout. Yeah,
and the rifles, that's the big thing. 2 AKs. We don't often see them go that heavy, usually early in games. As of late, as of the last couple of months with the SMGs and the state that they are, the power that they have.
I think everyone knows G2 will be force buying on the second round regardless. They're very aggressive on their second round buys. We have got CLG now working in towards the B bomb site. It's going to be Body waiting for them. We called him out. 5-7 in hand, and the head armor as well. Scream rotating in to help him out.
Body has to spot this early, does see the jump. Fugly sees him in turn, but it's a little bit late. He goes down to 4 HP, has to fall away from this, and actually recommits, gets in the open, and there's no response. You would have thought Shocks had him if Body didn't, but somehow he stays alive longer than he should, gets 2 kills, and now it's just RPK that remains. Yeah. He's not a middle 5-7 in hand, and he's gone already to HenryG. So great start CLG. Losing only 1. Now they did lose one of the AKs, but they've gone and picked that up. JDM's got it, so they stick with the Galil, not the Scout. Look for him to try and go for an AWP early.
Yeah, pretty standard anti-eco around there from CLG. Running into a default at the start, then walking into the B side. Contact play, using a little bit of utility to find that first frag. Body could have got a kill there and opened things up, but unable to land the last shot there. So we go into round number 3. We have got HenryG just in 5-7.
And I think this is a bit interesting, I think, because he's at 4,300 right now. HenryG is actually going to be the insurance policy for JDM. They give him the SMG. If he can build up his own bank, great, he'll buy the AWP. If he doesn't, no problem. HenryG will buy it for him.
It means HenryG can go into situations first by himself, right? He won't give anything away whatsoever, just losing the pistol deal. He's going to have 2 players on short GC there. HenryG is going to be the first one to challenge him, as I mentioned before, but after spotting them there, they'll probably decide to go through middle at this point. It's going to be Scream waiting for them on the other side. He is taken down by JDM, and now the mid split will be coming.
And the 1 kill from JDM, if they win this round, which it looks like they will do, is going to be enough to put him in AWP range decently into it as well, so perfect setup in that scenario. JDM's going to pick up a second, even better, and it's now 3-0. AWP shorting about $7,400 as a result of that.
A hot topic of conversation for CT sides on that second round. If you do force buy, you're left in this situation. You don't have an AWP. You can see they've got no head armor, not a massive deal, but there is a Galil on towards Cutler. Famus on Body, and not a single defuse kit. So they are struggling tremendously. This is the kind of rut you can get into on the CT side. And CLG can find some decent footing here if they were to win this one. This will put G2 almost certainly onto an eco.
Cutler's just going to sit and wait for any aggression. RPK and Smiths together out toward long. Scream and Body sitting back as well, though, because there's no information, there's no push toward long where the other two players are waiting, so they can't afford to take the gamble of walking into the tunnels, as we talked about how they have been doing against Cloud9, against the Envy this weekend.
The thing is, CLG are going to be aware of this situation. They know the money's pretty bad, so they're just working a pick right now, seeing if JDM can get any control of the map. They have got control of short, though, so Hazed, joined by Tarek, just setting themselves up. They still have 4 smoke grenades as well, so they could do a full execution here. That completely wreck G2. We talk about Smiths being great on the A-bomb side with that AWP. Obviously doesn't have that right now, and he's actually there alone for now. RPK towards long. At his standard position, and here comes the aggression towards the B tunnels. It's going to be Body going in first, and does somehow find that kill on towards Fugly, so that's a massive for them. Now they have got the man advantage and something to work with.
Let's see if they can stabilize this at all, though. They've rotated back away from this long position. Smoke on the corner. RPK is going to be limited by that, but it's going to be Hazed and Tarek that go up middle instead with the smoke. Shox is on the box. He's going to see above this. Not to mention Scream getting the first kill. They're completely locked down inside that mid position, and it falls to a 5 versus 2. JDM not going to do anything as Body finds him in the tunnel. Cutler last alive. Shox is going to push through middle, and even if Body hadn't found that kill, he was trapped.
That was a really good call from G2. They could sense an incoming execution, and like I said, considering the buy they had and the lack of utility and no AWP, they needed to do something to get them an advantage going into that situation. So Body pushes the B tunnels, finds that kill onto Fugly, and that's just enough to funnel the terrorists towards the A bomb site, locking it down, and it's a decent play there from G2 going into it.
And Pita has crashed out of the game, so they're just going to call for a timeout in order to allow him to get back in. You can see Pita sitting in the back corner. The 6th PC is again in place this weekend for the coaches.
Yep.
Should they elect to do so? Oddly enough, at MLG, it wasn't a talking point. There wasn't that 6th PC, but that's not to fault MLG. They actually asked the teams if it was something they wanted, and most actually said no, so MLG elected not to do it. But yet, it seems when it's available, the teams use it. So it's kind of a, I guess, inconsistency. Some coaches like, some coaches don't.
It depends on the coach, right? Some people like to be in there and see exactly everything what's going on. Some to be behind their players and be there for more morale support and make sure they're more involved in the actual game itself. But there it is. G2 do arrive on the scoreboard now. 3 plays 1. And full buys coming in for both teams. You can see JDM back on the AWP. And of course, Smiths heading towards the A site, backing up RPK at long for now.
Tarek's already cleared out the bottom of the tunnels, and Fugly's watching for that push. Watching to see if they are going to get aggressive G2. So someone's sitting on the spiral stairs, the thing that Cloud9 lacked in the group stages at MLG. JDM, no smoke at mid, going to use his AWP to try and find an opening, see if they can get them down catwalk, but even still, if the man advantage could come their way in doing so, be huge for their execution, more so if it were Shox that were caught off guard, because he's the one that's playing the swing inside CT spawn, and he's going to have to watch from this cat pressure.
Hello? Oh, no.
It works. What have you done? Have you broken?
I don't know. I pressed a button and all of a sudden my voice has gone. Here we go. Scream once again with this B pressure. He's actually pushing the T's back as well. So at least they've got information now. There's not going to be a B-sided attack. Short control coming in for CLG right now. Smith's going to be holding there with the AWP. And as you mentioned before, Shock's waiting for them in CT spawn. So this is classic for Smiths. He wants to be hitting these shots. Does spot one. They're going to be dropping down to CT spawn. That's Tarek. And it's actually Shock's to take him down there. So now CLG rotating themselves over to the tunnels. A new Scream push. They get the kill on him as well. Now it's up to Body. We talked him up, and whether he can hold them off is another question.
Going to be Body again that has to swivel, but it's JDM who gets above the smoke on top of the boxes and finds the shot with the AWP. RPK last alive. So last time not successful, Body shuts them down. This time it's Shox that gets the only kill. RPK is just going to look for exits in this situation because they are going to go.
That's almost perfect.
Well, it's a dire situation right now in terms of money as well for G2.
You see how well they read G2 there? They're waiting for that B aggression to come in. They've got a player in low B, just waiting to give that call. As soon as they see it come in, they're completely baiting towards the A-bomb site, taking away all the vision from Smiths. 3 smokes deployed. Tarek drops down the CT spawn. Regardless if he gets the kill or not, he's actually locked Smiths out of the game. It looks like such a convincing A-sided attack. They take down Scream in the tunnels, which they've already seen. They're waiting for him to come push after they've seen that A attack. Take him down. That's the round over. Body was in like a 4-on-1 situation at that stage. Once he's dropped, the round fell apart. Hayes picks up 2 frags, and even though Tarek didn't get any, he was the bait almost, and it worked perfectly. The thing is as well, like Smith's in that corner, he just saw Tarek jump across, and all he can see is one player. He assumes that's all of them attacking there, so it's probably very difficult to see what's actually coming in. But CLG do win 1 round after the loss. That resets G2, but they have got enough money to buy into this round. So 2 Famases, 3 M4s, 1 kit. Distinct lack of utility though. So this round will be sending 3 players towards the A site. It's looking like Cutler fancies an aggressive face here as well, so he'll be making his way towards blue box. JDM gets the first pick on the RPK as well, so man advantage given. Smith's trying to rectify that now.
Flash over. Smith just falls away in time. Cutler's made it at least into the dumpster. Smith doesn't know this. His crosshair placement, he has no idea. This is a free kill for Cutler, who makes it a little bit awkward, but no time to react at all. And meanwhile, they've gone out middle, so long rotation points, but Scream, you talked about his form. He gets one, and Body's going to complement that. Turns back and finds Fugly as well, so a really good hold again inside of this B site. We talked about how it was a 4-1 deficit with a reset potential. This is a must-win for G2, and they've got the bomb now down on their side of middle. Cutler's going to try and work this from the long approach, but the smoke in front of him is going to buy time for G2. Scream knows he's there, flashes in, spots him in the corner, but it's still a heads-up fight, and Cutler wins it. It's all on to Body.
It was intelligent play from Scream. Had he found that kill, it would have been absolutely sensational for them, but now Body's stuck in a really difficult position. There it is. He has to choose one place to look at. He knows that Cutler's in CT spawn, just getting pincered perfectly there. And as you said, a must-win round for G2 in terms of the financial situation. So they'll be forced onto a full eco here, I'd assume. They've got about $3,000 available. So not investing anything as of yet, but here's the plays from Cutler towards long. Really nice stuff. Scream did what he could outside B after 2 or 3 players were dropped. He got 2, but wasn't meant to be. 5-1 plays CLG now. JDM back on the AWP, and this is just some PD50s in CZ, and he gets the first pick again through the corner of the wall, takes down Shocks. Man advantage given. Now they can just wait for the reply from the CT, see if there's any reactions, and stick together. There should be 0 chance of them losing this round. Should be.
Well, that's, yeah. We've seen strange things happen in these situations, but they are slowing it down well enough. They've found 3 kills now. Only 20 HP lost from Tarek. Now push through the B tunnels and try and get in behind and surprise them a little bit here and maybe pick up a gun or 2, but again, this is going to be CLG's.
The question is now for G2. The last couple of games we've casted with them, they've been so reliant on that upper B presence. It seems like CLG are locking that down. They're aware of that situation. They know what they do. I'd like to see how G2 are going to adjust their setup now. Are they going to start bringing the AWP towards the B site? I would say that's the next protocol. The fact that that's going to completely change things around. You have the AWP anchoring towards that site. They're going to be happy to face towards the tunnel. So I think that's the perfect counter to what CLG are doing right now.
I was going to say Body gets 1 kill that would drop a gun and he might be able to try and get toward it, but they tried to defend it and he picked up a second. Thankfully, they put him down. Bank's still good. CLG's side, but the gun's going to come back out this time for G2. Smith's just thinking about it. It would have been glass cannon, but thankfully he goes for the M4 with full utility instead. So no kits, though, again for G2, which is going to be a problem.
Absolutely. We saw it was Body that had to push into the B tunnel. It's a similar sort of situation here. Someone needs to make something happen. They need to get a man advantage. If the bomb was allowed to go down in a full execution, it would be very difficult for them to have a chance of the retake. So 3 players for CLG towards the B tunnels once again, waiting for that push to come in. I don't think they'll be doing it this round. A little bit too obvious after what's happened in the previous. Going to be smoking it off. JDM forced out. Takes a little bit of damage there through the smoke from Body. But CLG now going for the catwalk control.
Flash over Tarek and Hayes. Going to try and at least get good position against Smiths, who plays back on the A ramp. Shocks just coming up from CT. So no op to defend, as we often talk about, toward this catwalk position, and they're actually going to get aggressive together. The double push, and Tarek hits both in the head. The first shot was impressive. The second, the transfer, 50-50, I'd say, but it still counts for him, and he's gone toward the site. This is such a disaster for G2 as RPK the last, and it's Hayes that hits it. Bomb slowly going to come up catwalk. It's going to get planted inevitably. Body's going to try and do what he can, but he's got players on either side, and they know there's one inside of the B tunnel, so even if they want to save right now, they have to find the kill onto that person. Just Fugly, just waiting at this point in time.
I bet Tarek can't believe his luck in that scenario. It looked like it was him dead to rights, but there it is. Fugly finishes things off. Very clean round there for CLG, and I think a timeout is coming for GT. They need to work out what the hell's going on here. On those force buys, they're just not finding the kills whatsoever. They're sitting back, allowing these kills to come in from Tarek. First on is a lovely shot, like you said, but the spray transfer is pretty sick as well. Fugly to finish things off there in the B tunnels. So 7 plays 1 now. G2, money in disarray. So that 3K average for the team, so they can't really justify a force buy here. They're going to be working out pretty much what they're going to be doing next round. This will be the double AWP setup coming next round, Matt. They're going to have to throw something there to mix things up. So far, it's been pretty dire. One gun round so far. And that was with that first pick in the B tunnels from Body. But all the other gun rounds have been going in favor of CLG, just working as a team, finding the picks, sticking together. And actually, it looks like they've done their homework on GT. They're ready for anything they're presenting towards them.
I mean, if they watched the Cloud9 game at all,
this is the thing
at the major, if I remember correctly, Cloud9 was the last of the 2 to play. Liquid had already made it through. They topped the group. CLG made it through a little bit earlier in the day in the decider match. I'm pretty sure that CLG was sitting in the players' room at the studio watching Cloud9, so they would have been fully aware of the fact that Scream was pushing into the tunnels a lot.
This has all come off the back of that second round investment, though. We talk about the CT like financial situations a lot. And on Dust2, if you never really get rolling, you never get that double AWP set up, and you're constantly on the back foot, you're not winning consecutive rounds, this can be the problem you go into. When you're actually trying to force buy, you only have Famises and no kits, no nades. You've got to keep spiraling out of control like that. You can't afford to lose any more rounds, but you still can't really afford to let your money to get that low. So it'll be interesting to see how they approach this situation. I think they have to weak at this stage. Maybe a little bit of a partial buy, get some PT50s, smoke middle, maybe stack B, maybe push it, try and find that first pick. Next round, we will see a double AWP set up. I'm almost certain of it. Need to change things up. Get the AWP in towards B, have some more rifles towards middle, and then we'll have the turret on towards the A-bomb side as well.
And that's the thing, the turret Smiths. We talk about this being his best map by far, but it hasn't had the AWP to work with hardly at all.
I think it's one round.
One round, that's it.
Well then, pause will be coming to an end. G2 have made up their mind. It will be the Eco coming in, screaming the Desert Eagle in a smoke. So yeah, so he'll probably smoke towards mid, take away some vision from the terrorists. So they can't really call as to where a stack may be lying. As we're going to round number 9, CLG. So far, so good for them. Excellent stuff. Not going to be snaking middle, okay.
Yeah, that's peculiar. Nonetheless, it's Tarek and Fugly that are going to go toward the tunnels and hold this position. So even if they want to get aggressive again with the pistols, try and throw something a little bit different into the mix, a fast play on the B tunnels, it would be held off, and Fugly's the one to do so. Tarek again. So I mean, this is a really set up default from CLG, very straightforward. Fugly's always watching those tunnels. Tarek's always clearing out the underpass, making sure no one's pushing up mid early on, and he's pre-checking every corner down the stairwell. It's just up to them now based on what strategy they want to run, if they're even going to take long control, or they just put the other 3 toward mid and get ready to take cat.
This is textbook so far. Don't have to commit at the beginning of the rounds. Work out what the stacks may like. Work as a unit, slowly but surely dissect the map, making sure you're getting the map control you need before you can go into a bomb site. So they're just spread out. You can see this is pretty classic formation. 1 towards long, 2 tunnels, 2 middle, making sure there's no aggression coming in. See if you can work out any sort of intel here. So Fugly and Tarek both facing towards B, waiting for someone to face. They're aware that there's a lot of B aggression coming in from the CT so far. So Scream, though, in quite a passive position towards that platform, waiting for them to walk in his crosshair.
Scream is going to fire 2 deagle shots in, but none of them connect. It's Tarek again with 2 on entry. And 2 HP, if you want to continue on that storyline. But Cutler's going to find Smiths.
The number 2 storyline?
Yes.
It is a good one. It's a strong storyline.
It is. Yeah. Jim Carrey, the number 21 now. CSGO, the number 2.
Yeah. 5 on 2 now. Keep it going.
5 on 2.
Yeah.
2 to find. RPK with 1 of the 2. Has to find the other of the 2, but Cutler gets him down. And unfortunately, there's 4 players left. You divide that by 2, and it is 2. But Shox gets JDM, and now it's just going to be him remaining. He's sure to go down. And CLG is going to put themselves up 8-1. But again, the timeout was called. They went for the eco. This is where the guns come back out for G2.
It all comes full circle, Matt. Perfect. That's why we're so good. We work so well together. Anyway, so as I said, now there's 2 AWPs, as predicted by yours truly. So this is the only comeback I think they can come up with. Like, everything's gone horribly wrong so far. They haven't really changed their setup. So it's going to be Smiths and Body. Interesting to see where Body goes to this. He's gone towards B himself, and Smiths will be towards long. So yeah, this is exactly what I'd be calling at this stage. You want to make sure you kind of mix things up, and if B's been a massive problem for them so far. So Body can be left there by himself, allows there to be more presence towards middle from Scream. And more of a default once again from CLG, holding up bomb towards the B tunnels for now. So that potentially means a B split eventually. They're seeing if JDM can work a pick once more. He's towards mid, seeing if he will be challenged through those doors. So far, it's looking pretty clean.
Clean indeed. Tarek again. With Fugly, so same thing. This time Tarek has the bomb, so slightly different in that sense, but Cutler's the one that's going to watch out toward A, and this is likely going to be a split with Catwalk, Hazed, and JDM already looking in that position. And the double op Body on B means that they're going to stay passive here. It gives Scream a bit more breathing room if he wants to try and get out toward middle, which also then means that Shox can rotate a little bit earlier on this, and he's going to have to because Smiths is going to be overwhelmed. And in some saving grace, they've given up on that long push, which means RPK can hold that position. They can play for the retake. If Smiths doesn't hit the first few shots, he can fall away toward the pit position.
I was looking at that smoke play coming in once again for CLG. Take the vision away from Smiths, flash him over, and they'll probably commit all players to dropping down to spawn now and trying to take down Smiths. That'll be the main objective, and here comes the execution.
And Shox has to be the one to stop this. He knows it, turns away from the flash, smoke's there, but the first one's made it. He's got to push this, he's got to go toward elevator, and Tarek's aware that someone has to. It's a double smoke wall, so even when Shox gets in, he's in the open just for JDM, and not exposed is Tarek, who can now focus onto Smiths. Bomb gonna go down. But again, RPK had that angle held, so Smiths could fall away, and that saves him alive to take down Tarek in turn. 4 plays on 4. Kits on both Scream and RPK, but they have to make this possible. They have to continue pushing toward the site. It's Fugly that holds them off. Cutler's pushed out, and Fugly from behind. That's so perfect down mid.
Wow.
It's extremely well held by CLG.
They're playing G2 like a book right now. This is actually very, very impressive. CLG, like I said, we can see them setting up that smoke execute. They've done a fake of it already. This time they went for the real deal. And Smith's, his usual style, finding 2 or 3 kills of the terrorists across into the bomb site. They weren't able to do that whatsoever. CLG just completely took him down with the flashbangs. Tarek tried to push through the smoke and find him, but it wasn't a problem. As you said, Fugly with that perfect backstab through the mid doors. So perfectly timed. I love that. He gets the double kill and secures the round, and the onslaught continues. It's now 9-1 in favor of CLG. G2 forced onto another partial buy here. Deagles, 5.7s, and some body armor. But CLG
Actually, body doesn't have armor.
You're going to run this to the ground, aren't you, his name? We did it over the weekend so much. But keep going. For now, I can still tolerate it.
I like how you said you loved that. You sounded like Bob Ross for a second. I love that play from Fugly.
I did.
JDM though does hit the shot on Smith. I was going to say has the off angle. RPK good push, but only one back in turn. JDM, that was a well calculated peek. Had the crosshair already placed for it. And it's going to be HenryG that picks up his op now that he's gone down, but they can still try and work this. It's just Scream, or excuse me, Shox remaining on that A site, and he's just going to walk out. HenryG just has to hold the angle. It's all too easy.
Just Scream remains with the Desert Eagle. It's going to be CLG hitting double figures first. 10 plays 1. And 4 players remaining for CLG as well. So just JDM who drops, but they do manage to salvage the AWP. This round was never going to amount to much for G2. We'll have a look at the cash coming for the next round. Obviously a maximum loss bonus for at the moment, so $3,400. So they will have the opportunity to get double orbs once again if they wanted to, but you have to say it didn't really work out too well for them that time. CLG just completely outplayed them with set execution. And that time, instead of sitting back really passively, CLG just got control of short, went for the full wall of smokes there. And this is a problem if you allow teams like this to actually do all the tactics they want, and you've actually been rattled so much by your aggressive pushes not working out for you. That's when you can find yourself in a very difficult situation indeed. So the double orbs do come out once more. Smiths, I wouldn't be surprised if Smiths went for the early pick through the door this time. He wants to try and get a man advantage, get the confidence back in the team and show he's not scared, and it looks like he may just be doing that. This is probably a good call from him.
He's known for this. So the flash goes over, he shuffles out. There's no one waiting though. They've completely vacated the T spawn. It's JDM and Cutler that working onto A against RPK.
Double orb set up on the T side as well now, so they're changing things up.
And that's HenryG that picked up JDM's last round, kept it. JDM rebought. Smith is still waiting at this doorway though. They need to be aware of it. Flash over. Just gonna blind him, but he fires it perfectly, times it, and Tarek goes down. Finally, Smith gets something rolling. Falls away from this as well because they can sit back and enjoy the one-man lead, try and force CLG's hand and not get caught off guard. They need to be complacent with this. RPK is gonna anchor along as always. We talk about his efficiency in that position.
Yep, absolutely. One of the strongest players towards long by himself, but here comes the next pick. Smith's ready to take down JDM, and he does it as well. So 5-on-3, surely the round guaranteed at this point. Smith has carried them through to this point. He still isn't done just yet though. HenryG wants a challenge. Decides better of it as he falls back to middle.
And Smith, there you go, finally gets onto the AWP, and it makes a massive difference.
Absolutely.
Cutler gonna try and bring this bomb back over toward B, but again, that second off in the hands of Body is staring down toward the tunnels. And HenryG is gonna go for a late lurk toward middle to try and hold rotations off as long as possible so that they can isolate the 2 players in B and potentially get the plant out of this. That's their only way into the round to try and make this happen. And Body misses the first shot, gives Cutler the angle. He's gonna hold this and allow his teammate to go in further, but Scream was playing Closet, so it was a crossfire setup, and Body repeaks to take down Cutler. Suddenly HenryG is left the last alive, and Smith finds him. Hat trick in the round, and there you go. Big difference in the setup.
Nice clean round there. Smith's going for more of an aggro play there. I like that. He's challenging them, gets that first kill, albeit blind. He timed it perfectly through the door. Here's a replay of his screen right now. Flash comes in, boom, takes him down. Just good, common strategy there, and Smith's coming down to JDM as well. So good news is for G2, they actually managed to keep all 5 players alive. The money was very low at that point. So even if they do get reset at this stage, they should be able to buy next round. As we go to number 13 now. Double orb setup still rolling strong for G2. Just a singular orb now for CLG. And Smith's back towards this aggressive play. He does challenge towards mid, but does get taken down to 35 HP. And that's probably going to put him into more of a defensive role.
As all this is happening, though, with the AWP still at middle, they want to push Catwalk fast because they know it's not out toward the car. And Shox is limited already toward the CT spawn. They have to try and get this plant down efficiently. Shox still trying to find the shot onto Tarek, who jumps back up and manages the headshot with the AK. Fugly's going to secure the catwalk position. All 3 of the players inside mid aren't going to have much mobility. Fugly's found the first one. JDM out toward long. At least RPK wins 1 duel. Leaves the retake as a possibility, but it's going to be a desperate one. if they even elect to go for it. All three of them have kits. Body starts it off by working on a catwalk, but already Molotov isolates RPK, who's facing, and Tarek finds him towards the elevator, though. They are exposed. Hazed holds on, gets both kills, but that was a little bit close for a second because 42 HP and Cutler was only on 25.
He was just in his zone, man. He's hitting his shots. He wants to take the one-on-one duels, and he's landing shots like that. Fair play to him. Excellent stuff from CLG. That resets G2, as I said, the money should be strong enough to at least get some sort of a buy here as we go into round number 14. 4 M4s and a FAMAS. No kits once again, no head armor, but it's obviously not a big deal against AKs. Just look at the utility though. Only 2 smokes and some flashbangs. That's about it, but CLG going back to their basics there. No double AWP that time. It's working the ace split once more. It's going to be Cutler. It's coming out towards long. JDM gets the first kill on towards RPK. Smiths tries the challenge, gets taken down as well. JDM with the double. And this is the round almost guaranteed in favor of CLG. Shock's trying to do what he can though. Does get taken down to 8 HP for his troubles.
3 faces, JDM inside
Okay.
pay. Shox actually wins that duel because JDM misses it. You wouldn't have thought it would have been him to go for the reface, but now it's back to 3 versus 3. JDM finally wins long, and G2 claw back into the round, but again, that HP deficit might catch them out here. Scream knows they pushed out mate, goes to the face. Fugly's there, has to be a trade, but he gets in behind the box in time. Switches to the pistol, he's saved by Body, who comes out from the window. What a turn from Tarek, though. Both players go down as Scream thinks he has him caught off guard.
He knows he's low HP as well. You can see we've got Tarek with the Tech 9 out, ready just to hit one bullet. It makes sense compared to the AK-47. You've got a lot of run and gun potential there. You can just jump around and try and land that first shot. Shocks with the AWP in his hand. Bombers implanted on A. And now he needs to work out how he's going to approach the situation. He thinks he's maybe still a B still, so he's hanging out towards mid, looking towards the window. He still doesn't realize. Is he hoping that Tarek's going to run out to the B site? With no kids, he's got zero chance of winning this round now, so he's just hoping he's gifted the kill in some manner. It's going to be impossible at this stage. He still thinks it may be a B. When's he going to realize? I think he knows now. He's just saving the weapon.
Yeah, go on. AWP will at least make it into the next round. There's so much money on CLG's side, though. There's very, very little on G2's.
Yeah, they've got picked up an AWP, though, to Shocks to take that for the next round. Smiths hasn't exactly been setting the world on fire, though, with his pick so far. He had one decent round.
Oh,
he got him!
He did get him. What?
What?
He hit him right as time expired. It didn't even show on my screen. It showed up in the next round in the kill feed. AWP's gone.
The thing is, it does too as well. If you have an AWP, regardless of what your teammates have, if you have someone who can go for an aggressive pick and get that first man advantage, that's so massive. And the fact he gets him at the end.
Pre-fired the corner. Didn't even know he was there, just took the guess.
Well then, we're going to round number 15. As you said, no money at all available for G2. So just some upgraded pistols, some armor, and some smoke grenade. That's about it. This is looking very likely to be going in favor of CLG 13-2. I didn't think I'd be saying that as we were going into Dust2.
No, not at all. I mean, as we said, this has been G2's best map as of late, but they are being outplayed. And as you've been saying time and time again, read so well by CLG, who clearly done their homework against the style and aggressive play that G2's been bringing on that B site, because there's been no chance to push in.
We discussed it at the weekend. We said, oh, G2 obviously going for a little bit of a honeymoon period right now. They're looking very strong on the heavy fragging maps like Dust2 and Inferno. As soon as someone challenges them and they've got a little bit of intel, they've actually watched some demos, you can see when they start to struggle, it's the adaption and the money control. That's been a massive problem for them. So we're going to round number 15 now. JDM once again to open things up, takes down Body, and they're going to make their way to the B site.
Body gone means that it's just Scream inside of that site. He's going to go for the... They're blinded up. Goes for the knife. No, gets saved. It nearly would have worked. That would have been incredible with 3 players facing if that flash was that effective. You have to wonder what would have happened if he had any ammunition left, but it is going to be 4 players left alive. Hazed with the final kill in the half, 13-2.
That's pretty crazy, isn't it? G2, I thought this would be like done deal. Dust2, their best map. I couldn't believe they got it, and they're looking very poor right now. And it's all just coming down to the fact CLG just know how they play. They're locking them out, waiting for the B pushes to come in, shutting down Smith's those wall of smokes, and just completely taking him out of the game on his best map. RPK not really being challenged too much towards mid-round stages of long, where he's actually, that's where he's at his best, is holding that position. They're taking the spawns, and JDM working so many picks. You can see Hazed and Fugly, 2 of the players you don't really talk about in terms of like the heavy fraggers on this team. It's normally Tarek, JDM, Cutler. They're the stars, right? And these 2 are actually lights out right now, 15 kills apiece. I'm gonna have a look at the other team. Smith's, his best map, 5 for 13 map. It's just not going to be good enough, and he's being looked towards defend that A site almost by himself most of the time.
Peter, the coach, talking about potential setups off the start of this. So again, we'll see if G2 go for it, that 5 armor play that they often do. It's not. You're wrong this time, Henry. Scream.
I didn't say anything.
You said that they always do that, T-side and CT. Look, you're normally right. I got to call you out when you're wrong.
Okay.
It's only fair. But it's 2 utility players, Scream and Shots.
That is Pretty unorthodox for them, especially. They normally just go for the Glock train, 5 sets of armor, but this time looking like they will be changing things up. Scream and Shocks with the smoke grenades, one set towards middle already, and it looks like a simple B play coming in. They're going to have one smoke for the retake after the bomb goes down, and Shocks just giving a little bit of distraction towards middle. Here comes the contact into B.
It's Tarek. Oh, look at Tarek, though. He's so disciplined. One's already gone by. He's waiting for this play. There it is. Shots, both successful. He finds the third. He gets lined up, though, dropped in the end, but Tarek gets 2. That gives Cutler and JDM a chance. And if he had to hit that third one, he would have denied the bomb plant, and you would have thought it was definitely CLG's to take at that point. Cutler's limited in the window, all staring him down. Does manage to get him back out after taking down body, so no reach frag. It still bodes well for them. And again, 2 armor sets on the CLG players, so they will be able to tank up a lot of these shots. RPK needs to face out. JDM's gone extremely low, but Cutler saves him, and that's going to do it. But do they have the time?
They've got lots of time up.
They do. Sometimes I can't hear it when I'm talking.
Well, it's okay, but that was actually really cool from Tarek. That position almost certainly checked every single time. You need a lot of distraction to make that work, and Tarek, it takes big balls as well, man, to sit there and have players in front of your screen and not pull the trigger. He gets 2, and for a silenced USP, that's not bad at all. That pays off pretty well for him. That shuts down anyone actually capitalizing. He could have got the third as well, but he did get taken down in the end. But CLG winning the pistol, that was a must-win round for G2. They have no choice now but to force buy. Normally, most teams will be force buying in the third round, but they're going to be coming in now in the second. With 1 AK on screen, the headshot machine really needs to step up here. They're going to be challenged towards long, heavy nade damage coming into him. And here we go then. The Map 1 trying to do what they can. Smith's taken down. Scream trying to rectify. He gets 1. Can he find the second? If he can, they have a chance here. It doesn't happen. JDM does punish him. We go down to a 3-on-1. RPK, the last player remaining with a UMP and 3 players to find. I'm not believing. And now it's Tarek. Takes him down. 15 plays 2. Match point.
Tarek having another excellent game. So he leads the way on 17. Just to give you an idea for G2, Body, the new boy, is actually at top right now with 12. Doesn't really say much in this situation, but 15-2.
Pretty grim now. After that force buy, they're left with pretty much no money. They have a Scout, a Mac-10,
I mean,
3 pistols.
This is one of those, I mean, at the qualifier as well, G2. They lost the first game heavily. They went back. Shock said, we have to play better. You know, we got to review, yada, yada. They were pretty upset by it, and this will be the similar type of task where they're going to have to find themselves a way to win, reflect on this, and fastly so, because this group...
It just goes to show, though, you can't rely on this brute force and firepower.
Absolutely.
Especially on the CT side of Dust2, you need to be controlling your money, you need to be adapting to what the T's are doing. If it's obvious they've read you, you need to actually start bringing new things to the table and have other things in your strat.
Ooh, good shot from Shocks, though. Takes down Fugly at mid with the Deagle. But Tarek again, he's playing an off angle inside of B. It's 2 already. He's got inside the flames, though, and he's caught off by Scream. One had made it by. It's RPK, but he's low. He's on to 9 HP only with the Mac-10.
Well then, 3 versus 2 RPK with very low HP. Shocks with the Scout as well. A lot of work and a lot of magic is required to actually make this run happen. Shocks has found an M4, so that does boost their chances somewhat.
Shocks is going to stare down the tunnels as well with this M4. Cutler's got to face it, go wide. 2 at the front of the site, hazed. And JDM not moving, but now the Cutler has that kill. RPK's forced to get out in the open, and again, he was already weak, he was already low. That's going to do it. 16-2, CLG just absolutely crush G2.
Yeah, and then some. Fantastic result for them. Just goes to show you, like at the point I was making before, we said G2 looked amazing at the weekend when they first made this lineup, and they're playing against teams that I had no information on them whatsoever. CLG, famed for doing a lot of the homework. They have the boot camp house, they'll be watching everything they possibly can. And it seems like they've just completely outplayed G2 just in terms of the tactical executions and like knowing exactly how G2 approach the map. We know, we've casted them 2 times now. We know Screen likes to push up a B almost every round. We know Smith is playing towards car. Smoke them out, wait for them to push. You've got to win round after round. And it seemed like G2 didn't have a response to that. They didn't have any other sort of dynamic plays. They weren't pushing off short at all. They weren't really sending the AWP around and being mobile. They tried the double AWP setup, but that was getting locked down by the smokes as well. So,
and knowing that G2 have a limited map pool. We said G2, Dust2, Inferno. All right, that's kind of their saving grace in this best of ones. They have a chance to kind of maybe pick up a win here and there in this tournament, but they just got absolutely wrecked on their best map.
The absolute best.
Where do they look now? I mean, this is really going to get inside their heads. How do they approach the rest of this tournament? CLG, that was just so easily counter-stratted and well played on their part. I'm extremely impressed by that.
the individual plays as well from across the team of CLG. It's not like anyone had a super sick game. Everyone was playing well. Everyone hitting their shots. JDM finding the picks consistently. Tarek coming up huge in the big impact situations. And Hazed as well looked really, really strong. One of the players we talk about, Fugly and Hazed, the players we don't really say are the star players. They're kind of like the side on the sides, but they played lights out.
Well, Smix is standing by with someone who throws a frisbee much better than Paula. It is Cutler.